Welcome to Overtime, the podcast. Overtime is a podcast dedicated to all things watches, particularly in the micro-brand and affordable range. I'm Praka, and this is my co-host, Justin.
We are two watch enthusiasts based out of Perth, Western Australia. Join us as we discuss our thoughts on new releases, share our personal experiences, and offer our insights on building a collection.
Whether you're a seasoned enthusiast or just starting your journey, Overtime will keep you entertained with informative insights and casual conversations.
Let's get started.
So, Justin, how you going, mate?
Hey, man. Not too bad. Yourself? What's happening?
Yeah, good. It's almost silly season and definitely feeling it. Busy times ahead. But feels like we haven't done this in a little while. So
it was definitely silly season. I feel like it's been silly season since I attended the carols back in the last week in November. It's just been Christmas. But it's been a while since we've done it. I guess to fill in the listeners, I had a pretty rough couple of weeks going on there. We got struck by the COVID again. It didn't take us all at once. It did us one at a time. Finishing off with the daughter this week. So between that and school and Christmas barbecues and birthdays and then tonsillitis thrown in the middle, it's been a rough few weeks. But I'm glad to say I'm out the other side of it and feeling pretty good now, actually, today.
Yeah, no, I'm glad to see you, not in the quiet flesh, but at least in the camera, looking good, looking better. Because I'll tell you what, man, I got worried. I was like, this guy's just disappeared off the face of the earth. Is he doing all right? But I'm glad to see you on the other side.
Oh, like the first time, I think I told you on the phone the other day, but the first time I got COVID, it wasn't that rough. I kind of had a mild bout of it. I've had a 3 or 4 times, and every time's not been too bad. But this time, I lost my taste for a few days.
Yeah.
I got the brain fog incredibly bad. Like it was, I think I was saying to you, I would sit there and be having a YouTube on or the kids' TV show on, and then I'd be looking at my phone, and I would just find myself staring off into the distance. I was just like, it's really got me this time, and in the end, it's kind of the start of this week to today. Today's the best I've felt in about 3 weeks. Got out and got some sun. Got back to the gym this week. I was feeling, apart from the sore throat Monday, I was feeling pretty good in terms of got my strength back. Leg aches and back aches are gone. So the sore throat, the swelling had disappeared from the tonsillitis. I was like, I'm getting back in the gym. We're going to do it. Yeah. And I'm feeling good now.
That's good. I'm glad, like I said, I'm glad to see you. And I'm sure the listeners are also glad to hear your smooth voice back on the podcast.
I'm glad to hear my smooth voice. I never thought I'd say that, but trying to have conversations with my kids and they couldn't hear me or anyone else on the phone has been quite rough.
No, that's tough, mate. That's tough. All right. Well, I guess before we crack on with today's episode, we always start off with our wrist checks. What have you got on your wrist, mate?
Right now, I've got nothing. I took it off to load the dishwasher because it was boiling hot. My aircon packed in today as well. So as I open the dishwasher, you get the big steamy burst, and I was like, I don't want my wrist sweating. And because it was the Seiko Turtle today, I was just like, I don't want this heavy weight that's going to be all sweaty on my wrist. But I wore that today. We hit 38 degrees here in Perth today. It was hot. I went to the park. Did some small chores around the gardens and hung some Christmas lights as well. So I thought it's summer's definitely well and truly here. It's got to be turtle time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, great watch for the heat. Bracelet helps as well with a little bit of micro adjust as you need if you need to make it bigger. Would be nice to have it on the fly, but we can't ask everything.
No, can't I? Maybe ask Santa for that for Christmas. Maybe he'll deliver for Seiko, but
just a clasp, maybe.
What are you wearing, Praka? What's on the wrist?
I am wearing my Astor Banks Fortitude Lite in a beautiful FKM strap, FKM rubber straps, actually from another watch, a new watch that I received, which I'll be speaking about in this episode. So
cool.
I had it on a leather for a little while because my wife's been wearing it on the leather. So she enjoys the Astor Banks on the leather. So I had it on the leather for a while, but today I was like, you know what, I feel like wearing it today. So I just quick release, bang, took the leather out and put this on, quick release as well. So it's great. Quick release straps. It's good. Yeah,
beautiful.
Cool. All right. Well, let's crack on with this week's episode. So I guess before we sort of get into it, real into it, just want to let all the listeners know that this is our last episode of the year. This is it.
It is. We're going to wrap up for the year before Christmas.
That's right. That's right. Before we all get inundated with, yeah, just some fun times with the family, kids, and friends. We thought we'll do one last episode this year, have a little bit of a break, and then come back into it refreshed and with more to chat about, and some awesome guests upcoming as well. So without further ado, what are we talking about today, Justin?
Yes, I guess we're going to wrap the year up with a SOTC. No, I got that wrong, haven't I?
No, that's correct.
Is it SOTC? Yeah. Okay, so I thought I got my my letters jumbled around for a second. Yeah, we're going to do a collection, maybe not an update because we haven't really spoken to it about it before, but we're just going to run through a handful of our collections and why they're here, if they're keepers, if they're kind of spot fillers, thoughts, feelings, maybe some backstory as well to them, if we haven't spoken about those particular watches before. But I thought, yeah, this would be a good way to round out the year, and maybe we can kick off the year with the other half of the collection episode as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so SOTC, state of the collection. I think it's quite common. A lot of watch YouTubers and all that do a state of the collection video, but this is our little twist, a little curated SOTC, if you may. So yeah, well, Justin, kick it off, mate. What have you got as your number one?
So
your first one?
My number one is going to be the Boulder, which is a recently acquired watch. Well, I say recently, it was only it was last school holidays that I purchased that. It feels like it has gone by in the blink of an eye. That was the first Monday of school holidays. That is, literally 12 weeks ago that I purchased that watch.
No way.
I don't know where this year has gone. Yeah. But yeah, managed with the Boulder. The idea was Praka and I had multiple chats about field watch, and it's something I'd never owned and wanted to kind of get into and explore. And it popped up in Perth locally on Marketplace by a fellow Red Bar member. So after having a few chats with James, we struck a deal, and I went and picked it up that night. And to be completely honest, it's probably become my most worn watch in those 12 weeks. It's been on a couple of different NATOs so far, Sydney Strapsco NATOs. So I wear it in a beige and a navy blue, and then back to the bracelet. And at the moment, apart from maybe the watch being heavy, which isn't a bad thing for myself or in general, it's become a pretty big staple in the collection and more of an everyday wearer than I thought it was going to be. I absolutely love it. From the color, from the case, handset, legibility, everything about it really ticks a lot of boxes that I was looking for in things like Hamilton mainly only Hamilton was what I was exploring in the field watch space. But yeah, one of, I think, the most sensible watch purchases I think I've made. I think it serves it's got the most purpose in my collection in terms of work, in terms of going to the park, everything in my life, and it really fits in. I think if I was to color any further, which I'm not planning on in the collection, it would definitely be sticking around long term. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's fantastic piece, fantastic field watch. I haven't, I have handled it once before, and yeah, I completely agree with your assessment. In terms of it's an all-rounder that's sensible. I wouldn't say that's like the only sensible watch in your collection. I mean, your Turtle's pretty sensible. I guess it has the things, but I see what you're saying. It's definitely, it could be someone's one watch collection.
100%. It just fits that bill very well.
Yeah, awesome.
But in turn, as well with the Boulder, it's probably one of the only watches I can think of off the top of my head in all of my collecting journey that I think has fit my wrist exactly the way I'd want it to. It just sits so perfectly on my sized wrist or shaped wrist. When I was in high school, I broke this wrist in a biking accident, and I've got a bit of a funny bone that sits on the left there. It's also I had some KYs in there, so there's a bit of deformity in my wrist as well. I love the way Turtles wear. I love the way my Black Bay wears, but this Boulder wears fantastically for my size wrist, and it's just a case dial ratio plus the way the lugs can form and the bracelet wears. It is just so comfortable. Like I said, tad on the heavy side, but you kind of don't realize unless you're actually thinking about if I go for a walk and it's hot and sweaty, or I'm kicking the football, or riding scooters with my boy, you feel it in those circumstances. But Other than that, it's made the most perfect work watch I could really ask for.
Yeah, it's a beautiful looking piece too to top it off. Nice one. Okay, that's a and what we didn't. I don't know if you said this, but is it a keeper?
It is a keeper, yeah. So
Okay.
I think it's definitely still got Hamilton on the brain and on the cards to an extent,
Yeah.
but I do think this has definitely taken a bit of the not the interest, maybe the attention away from Hamilton because it's.
Sure.
I like a bit of color, even though I've said in the past on the pod as well that I've been steering away from color and going a bit more traditional, even though this, blue is a pretty staple color in the watch
Yeah.
world. It is, it's definitely a keeper. It ticks all the boxes in terms in the light, you get that kind of petrol-y blue color, like in Nevada. In a way, I
Yes.
think we discussed that as well.
Mm.
But you kind of get that pop of color. The handset's got that really Fotina kind of loom in it. And then it's just very sensible, very traditional wearing case. Bracelet's super comfortable. I just don't see what I would buy to replace that with at this point in time.
Yeah. Fantastic. Awesome.
Awesome. What's on the list for yourself first?
All right. Well, I'll start off with my Seiko Lordmatic 5606 7000, which listeners can't see, but I'll show Justin. He's seen this before.
Yep.
It is from June 1968. It's definitely vintage, and
Definitely.
it really speaks to my love for vintage watches. It is the first vintage watch that I bought, and it so why did I buy this? So I think it was a birthday and I had some money, as you do, get birthday money from your parents and stuff like that. So it's like, yeah, awesome. Got some money put aside. And this is quite early in my watch collecting as well. I thought, yeah, I've been looking a lot at vintage watches and I was like getting really interested in the dimensions, the vintage dimensions. As you know, and probably a lot of the people, a lot of the listeners know as well, I do have small wrists. I speak about this a lot. And vintage watches are perfect for that. You've got 36 mil, the short lug to lug as well. It just wears really well. It's very contemporary. Classic designs as well. They don't make them like they do anymore. Seiko makes some great watches nowadays, but overall they don't make them like they do. And that's one of the reasons why I got into vintage watches, but also this watch as well. And it's just look at this. It's a super thin. This is an automatic watch that's still ticking along. So when I bought this, it wasn't running that well. It was sort of stopping and starting. The power reserve wasn't great. So I went to go get it serviced. And the watchmaker said to me, he said, hey, he opened it up and he said, oh, it's quite clean, actually. It's pretty good. And he said, and he did the service and whatnot. And I got it back. And it's since the service, I think it's been 2 and a bit years maybe. And it's been running all good, no issues. And I said to him, so what did you reckon? And he said, oh, did you know that watch has never been serviced before? I was like, what do you mean? So, nearly 50 years, 50, more than 50 years. I think it's 52 years when I bought it. It had never been
Nothing.
serviced.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's such a cool story though. Open it up.
Yeah.
And get told that is really, really interesting.
Yeah. And yeah, it just added a bit more, feel to that. And yeah, and also, it's the watch that I wore when my second son was born as well. So it's just one of those things that, I don't think I'll, ever part with. It's just one, it's hard when you move on vintage pieces. It's not like you can just go and buy another one. I mean, maybe you could, but it's hard, right? It's not the same. They don't make them anymore. So if you've got a good one, keep it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I feel like vintage, it's one of those things that has its own really deep rabbit hole in the hobby. It's all good to be into dive watches and stuff, but vintage seems like I guess it is the never-ending rabbit hole because there's a lot out there from the past. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And I have a bit of a fond appreciation for vintage. Actually, my grandfather's recently started getting into some more vintage stuff. He's been a very, I guess, conservative collector over the years. He only likes to have 1 or 2, maybe 3 on the go. And even then, he puts stuff in the safe and then never kind of wears it again. He doesn't really move much on, apart from the one that he's given myself and my brother as of recent. He kind of just puts everything away and leaves it. And he's the same with motorcycles and stuff like that. It just gets chucked in the back of the shed or somewhere and left. But he's actually started to explore a bit, so which is kind of cool at the age of, I think he's 88 or something around there, to be now venturing the eBays and
nice.
wherever he's looking for vintage pieces. It's kind of cool.
Oh, shout out to Granddad Roy.
Granddad Roy.
All right.
Okay. That's him.
So yeah, that's my first one. And is it a keeper? Yes.
Awesome.
Yep.
Sweet. All right. We might move on to the second pick for myself today. So I also went with something. I don't know what defines vintage. What year is vintage? Because if you say 95, I'm going to feel offended because that's the year I was born. This watch is from 95.
Neo vintage. That's
neo vintage. I'll take it. Yeah. So speaking of my grandfather, it's the Omega that my grandfather gifted me in recent times. I've been over this story a couple of times, but maybe not in a heap of depth, which I don't mind sharing a bit more about. My grandfather got a bit sick a few years ago, and the elderly sometimes think their time's up when it's not, and they overreact and stuff. And we went through this huge family thing where it was all talking about, and he was talking about what was going to happen and whatnot. And he came up to me. He got my grandmother to come and drive him up to my house, and we had breakfast. And he passed it on to me and told me the story. It's the 25th wedding anniversary watch that my grandmother gave him. And as a present, and then it was also the birth year watch for myself, being 95. So I have the box, I have the card stamped with the date, and it is 4 days after my birthday. So March the 4th, 1995, that watch was purchased.
Did he mean, or did your grandma mean for it to be a birth year sort of thing, or was it like an anniversary and it just coincided with?
It's just an anniversary. So the anniversary is the 5th. So she must have bought that the day before. Funny enough, it was bought from Morley Mazzucchelli's, which I didn't know about, which I don't know where that was. There is an address on it, so I should check. But I've actually purchased a tag Formula One from there, and that is where I got my Tissot PRX as well. So it's kind of a little Easter egg for myself there, that I've purchased watches from Morley Mazzucchelli's, where my grandmother purchased that watch 28 years ago. Sorry, not 25. 28 years ago. But yeah, it's a little quartz Omega Seamaster. It is my favorite watch in the collection, but it would be the watch that forever sticks around. It's the watch I will pass to my son, or if my kids have kids in the very distant future, maybe one I pass on further. But yeah, it's got a gorgeous blue dial. It's 36 millimeter. It came on the original bracelet, which was beaten, worn. It's still sitting in a plastic bag after it got cleaned and stuff. But I took it right off. I said, I can't wear that. But I bought a Milanese mesh from Strapify, I think, for $50 AUD. And it's probably one of the best value for money bracelets I've ever had. It wears very well. No hairs removed from the wrist since wearing it. And that Milanese mesh really pairs well with an Omega. Even a modern Omega, it looks stunning on.
I was going to say it does match it really well.
Yeah, the dial and the crystal have so much light play to it already, and even the indices are highly polished and kind of got a bevel. I don't know if it's called a beveling, but in the middle they're kind of got a peak to them with a bit of lume in the middle, and the way the light pops on one side of those indices, and then with the crystal it catches that inner blue wave to the solid blue outside, and then when it hits that Milanese mesh, it makes for a stunning wrist check, and it does catch the eye. And it's one of the watches in my collection that I've had comments on in public, so
non-watch people.
A rare occurrence. Yeah. Someone actually pointed out. I think this person must have been a watch person, because he knew Omega and Seamaster and the whole Bond connection. So either he's a movie buff or a bit of a watch buff. But this watch, like I said, by far the favorite. It's a pleasure to wear. It's the only kind of a vintage/neo vintage piece I own. A lot of sentimental value to it. It's sporty. It's dressy. I wore it to a wedding back in October with a navy blue suit, and it just went so well. When I put it on a leather, a Geneva blue aged leather strap, it looks fantastic. On a NATO, it looks fantastic. And like I said, on the Milanese, it's beautiful, and it's definitely a keeper. It'll never go anywhere. I think it'll be one of the more common watches you'll see on my wrist going into the future for sure.
Yeah, that's a family heirloom right there. So Yep.
Yeah,
Got to keep it going. Nice one. Nice one.
for
All
sure.
right. Okay. Well, it's a big hitter, heavy hitter for number two. So I will go with something. It's probably nowhere near that sentimental. That's for sure. It is my Nevada Grenchen and Worn and Wound collab, Dato Master. So why do I have it in my collection? What did I get it? Well, we've discussed this in the podcast before.
Yeah, yep.
I've been looking for a chronograph. I've been looking for a chronograph for a long time. Prior to this, I've had a single chronograph before then. That was a Timex chrono, which is like 50-60 bucks or something. And it was a great little thing, but I needed a nice chrono. And I was looking around, and to be honest, the opportunity came up. I saw one for sale, and I love the Worn and Wound guys. I listen to Worn and Wound podcasts as much as I listen to our own podcast, if not more. No, I don't sit there and re-listen. Well, I kind of have to when we're editing. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, awesome. Awesome publication, fantastic podcast, and also they have some great collaborations. They always seem to think, yeah, one of the guys there's Zach Weiss, and there's two or three other sort of product design guys, and they do all these collaborations with various brands, Zodiac, Nevada, Brew, like all these.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That Brew one was incredible.
Yeah,
I loved it.
That's right. All these awesome micros and the independent types, or brands that just by changing it with adding their little flavor to it makes it pop. So onto the watch itself. Look, it's a 38 mil, I believe, or 36. Could be wrong off the top of my head. I can't tell that. I will have the details in the show notes after. It runs a VK 64 movement, so it's definitely not an automatic chronograph. Like those things are quite expensive, and they're hard to to maintain as well. But yeah, it's simple. It's a quartz watch, so I can just pick up and go, and it works well. It's strap monster. You can literally put anything on it. I've got it on this nice. I don't think I've shown you this before.
No.
Like blue leather with
white stitching.
White stitching, Saffiano sort of leather. It's actually a loaner strap from. Yes. One of our fellow Red Bar members my best mate. Yeah, he actually bought it for another watch, but yeah, I think something happened with the sizing of the strap. It didn't work or whatever.
Okay.
Anyway, in my luck, I have this now, and it pairs really well. So I was like, sweet, I'll chuck it on for a while. Yeah. So why did I get it? I needed a chronograph. It's great design, lovely colors, pops in the sun. It's awesome. Now, is it a keeper? I'm going to say maybe. I'm not going to say yes. I'm not going to say no, because it's a fun piece. It's a great piece, but it's not, I wouldn't say it's a keeper. And, I have no intention of moving it on anytime soon. But if the right piece came up and I had to upgrade or, consolidate to get something else, yeah, I'll definitely look at, do I want to keep this? So
no, that's completely fair too. Like you said, it's kind of your entry into the chronograph world. So who knows what the future holds? I think everyone has that watch they remember that they bought to get into a certain vein of the collecting journey, and moves it on and upgrades over time, or style change or whatnot. It happens. It's okay. But if you enjoy it while you got it, that's all that matters, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you and I, we've moved on a lot of watches, so
we have. No, beautiful. I really like that watch. Like, I've seen it once in person, or maybe twice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's stunning. Everything on it works very well. I think it's very, very you as well. I might even go to the extent to say it might be top 2 or 3 of my favorite in your collection as well. I really, really enjoy it. And I didn't know much about Nevada before you'd purchased that. So once you started talking to me about Nevada, and I started looking at the brand and having a look at some of those other models that you were looking at as well.
Yeah, Chrono King.
Yep. That sort of stuff. Once I had a good look at the brand and looked into some history, I was like, it's actually, there's a lot here to unpack.
Yeah.
So which is also cool to have a bit of brand history as well.
For sure. I mean, they're a big historical brand that unfortunately sort of was dormant. and then got reborn by this fella named Guillaume. I don't know his last name, but he actually has rebirthed a few brands, and Nevada is just
Okay.
one of them. Again, I cannot tell you exactly all the brands that he's done, but he's definitely, yeah, he's yeah, Guillaume Lede, that's it. So he's done a couple actually, and Volcane
Oh yeah,
watches.
Volcane. Yeah. Yep.
Yep, that's right. And then there's
Volcane
also,
Cricket. Is that them? Is that the
yeah,
that
that's
rings a
it.
bell?
Yeah. And then he's so those are the two brands that he rebirthed. He took it, and he's making watches that are like 100% either the exact same watches that they used to make, or making them with a slight twist, but still keeping that brand heritage. And that's
Yeah. Cool.
awesome. That's what you want to see in, like a brand relaunch, showing their vintage
Mm.
styles. And yeah, so yeah, it's a Guillaume Lede, I think is how you say it. So yeah, Nevada, Excelsior Park, and Volcane. And I think he's got a new one called Space One as well, which is a
Yeah, okay, right. Well, it's an
futuristic.
interesting catch-22 with the whole, stuff that got eaten up during, world wars and courts crisis, that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. Because if there's probably hundreds, if not more, brands out there that did get eaten up and dissolved and have disappeared that we probably won't see again in the future at the same time. But
Mm,
brands like Nevada and whatnot that are coming back and getting, maybe not starting again, but taking pages from the back catalog and
yeah.
having a crack. We wouldn't have them at these, maybe not have them at these affordable prices and
Mm,
affordable versions with VK movements and stuff for
yeah.
us to purchase now. So it's
Yeah.
kind of a catch-22 in that sense.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's been a couple of brands that have been rebirthed, and probably the biggest news at the moment is Universal Genève
Huge.
getting the name getting bought out by Breitling, and Breitling Rebirth starting it. And I I had an opportunity to buy a Universal Genève vintage when I first started collecting. I was like, oh, this is really cool. Oh yeah, you're not too bad. I think I would have. Oh man, it was a couple of $100. It was like nothing on eBay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Good luck trying to get that
I was
under.
going to say.
Like, yeah, I think it's like 2K or something.
Yeah,
Something
quick
ridiculous.
disclaimer, you're not going to find it around that price
Yeah, not
anymore.
anymore, not anymore. And
Also, I feel like we
mm,
always speak, like, or maybe not always speak about. There's so much in the watch news and media these days about something or some big name or
mm,
conglomerate absorbing or purchasing another spot. Like, there's been so much about Rolex purchasing, Bucherer and
mm,
other stores. And I feel like every time I go into an AD here in Perth or chat to someone who's, been into an AD recently somewhere around the world through Instagram, there's always brands getting pulled from stores and being moved. And
yeah.
I feel like it's just happening constantly at the moment.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame because I think what's happening is, you're seeing ADs, or well, you're seeing retail shops losing all their brands because the brand itself wants to start up their own shop and just go,
Mm,
you come into the shop and you're just having Tag, or you're
yeah.
just having Rolex, or whatever. Rolex is not the same, but they're all doing that. And I don't know. I kind of think, going somewhere and having the selection and being able to see it's cool. It's an
Oh, I think it's great. If I don't have to go into a store and hear the Rolex wank, I'm more than happy to go through that process. I'm cool with that.
yeah, and also, you know, I think retailers can actually give discounts and stuff because they can buy stuff
Yep.
in bulk and all that. And yeah, good luck trying to get it at like a brand store. Like they'll just be like, no,
Yep.
I'm not going to do that. So yeah,
I think it'd be
anyway.
less, flexing of things as well. Like if
Mm,
you're going in to look at, if you're going into the tag store, what are you there to look at? It's like my experience with Tudor, or not Tudor, sorry, with Rolex. When I went in to buy a sub now a couple of years ago and ended up with the Black Bay,
mm,
I was being not, I don't want to say forced, but I was being encouraged to try Panerai, and I was like,
sure,
man, Panerai is not in my wheelhouse
sure.
whatsoever. I'm not interested in it. It doesn't
Yeah.
do a lot for me apart from some of the submersible models, but
Mm,
like I'm here for the sub, and if you got something alternative to the sub, which was the Black Bay, then cool. But I don't want to be looking at Panerai. It's still
yeah,
a dive inspired watch to an extent, some of them, but
but very different.
it's not the same. Yeah,
Not the same. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, they're just trying to get you a sale, aren't they? And they
100%. Yeah,
want to
that's
try and
it.
push. Yeah.
But I am keen to look at the Swatch store when it comes to Perth. We're catching up. Perth is getting something. We've had to wait a while, but we are getting a Swatch store.
Yep. But yeah, you won't see me lining up for Moon Swatch, that's for sure.
You and me both. I've had my time with the Moon Swatch, but I'm keen to try on a couple of things that you see over time from Swatch on Instagram, and maybe do some fun purchases with the kids. Go in and be able to buy 3 affordable fun watches that we can all wear out, which would be cool.
Yep. Awesome.
I think we said we're going to plan a trip there eventually.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, we should.
Sweet.
Yeah. All right. That took a turn, but it's your turn now. Number 3. Watch number 3.
All right. This is my third watch. I'm going to go way back into my collecting days here. And I don't think I've ever spoken about this watch or even posted it on my Instagram because I forgot I had it until maybe 3 weeks ago. So I'm in the process of building a house, and I decided it's time to pack up, and maybe not pack up everything, but just kind of get ahead of the ball game so that when the time comes, I don't have to have the big rush.
Sure.
And I was unpacking, everyone's got that box of stuff they've got from their childhood or, things that you keep over time that you need to get rid of. And I dug up a Seiko box and I was like, what the heck is this? It just must be a box that, wasn't from something in the past, and I opened it. I was like, this exists. I forgot about it. It's a Seiko Le Grand Sport.
Okay.
It's the reference number is SSC 514P. Now it is a black PVD watch with some gold bezel, gold indices. It's a solar powered chronograph. It's got a blue gemstone in the crown. It's a hideous watch. Don't get me wrong. It's got some I assume they're fake-ish diamonds in there as well.
Okay.
This was to me the watch to have when I was 18, and I have told my story about having the movement watch in the past and moving on from that to a Casio Edifice and a Seiko Diver, and I've completely skipped over that there was a time where this was the upgrade to the movement gold and black 48 mil or whatever it was. This was the upgrade, so this was my first step really in towards a Seiko or anything like that, and it's made its way into that box for a reason. I don't know how I forgot this, but my parents bought this for me as well. Yeah. I remember looking at it in a window at some sort of shop like Shields or Prouds. I went out for lunch or a coffee with my parents, and it was coming up close to must have been around my 19th or 20th birthday, I want to say. And I remember seeing that at the window, and I said to my mum, I kind of want to go buy that, but I was still saving for an apartment and whatnot at the time. And I didn't want to spend the money. And I think it was like $890 or something. And I remember going to buy coffees with my mum and dad and my brother. And I came back and my mum was gone. And I asked her, where's she gone? My dad said, she's gone to the toilet. And she came back with that in a bag. I remember it being, massive purchase back then.
Yeah, it is. It is a big purchase. I mean, it's still retailing for over $1,000.
I know.
I just had a quick look and damn, there you go.
I think I packed this away when I moved into my current house, to be honest, which was 6 years ago now. So when I moved into from my apartment to this house, that was very early into my dive watch collecting journey. And I must have put this in that box and said, I'm never going to wear this again because it is not my style anymore. But it's one of those watches that I said I'll never ever get rid of because it has that sentimental value there. Yeah. And who knows? Like now that I don't really care what Instagram or any kind of Facebook post thinks, maybe I'll go get it resized to my wrist and give it some wear time over the next few weeks while I'm on leave.
You should. You so should. I'm looking forward to this. This is it's something. It's blingy. It's
I feel like I need a thicker chain to wear it.
Yeah. No, but like you say, we all go through phases. I had that black PVD gunmetal black watch as well. I think that was just an era, wasn't it? Everyone had it.
Yeah, time. I think you go through it, right? There's a time where no one knows anything about collecting. I had no idea what a Seiko Movement and H35, nothing like that. I had no idea about micro brands. This was just looking back at it. I think I said this about the Movement watch as well and the Casio Edifice that I still have. This would have been a purchase solely based on what I liked at the time. That's probably why I'd choose to keep it and never move it on for $200 or something, is because it was just in a time where I didn't have the Instagram account. Watch collecting was collecting for the fun of it, and it does have a little bit of meaning. But I do plan on saying effort and just rocking it a little bit. Over the holidays.
Yeah, I think you should give it a go. I'm just trying to think. When did I get my black PVD watch? what was it? You know what? It might have been around the same time. I'm trying to think how many years back. Yeah, you know what? Probably around the same time. Must just be an era thing. Must be everyone was rocking that. But I didn't have the black and gold with the full, diamantes around the bezel. This would have went perfectly well with our last episode with the rap references.
100%. Just looking back, like when I was 19 and going out, I had the whole it was black skinny jeans, red sneakers, some sort of long shirt, one of those dangly long shirts, tied around the shoulders. I was like, this was
Yeah,
typical me back then. I know why I bought it, and the idea back then was probably female attraction, I'd go to say, as embarrassing as it is. And I guarantee anyone who's listening, it did not work at all. But it has a special place in the collection now that I've
yeah,
rediscovered it.
yeah. No, awesome, awesome, fantastic. I love it. I love it. All right,
All
well,
right.
we'll crack on then. Okay, my third one in my SOTC is, I can't not have this, is my SPB 143J, Seiko SPB 143J, which is the reissue of the Seiko 62 Mass, which was the very first Seiko dive watch.
Yep.
Okay, reason for purchase? Well, I didn't buy it. I think must have said this story about many times in this podcast, but I'll sum it up quickly. It was a 30th gift from my wife, my parents, my best mate, family and friends. So, yep, huge sentimental values. Unlike yourself, I didn't have a family member or someone that sort of
Yep.
got me into watches. Dad's worn a watch before, throughout his, since me growing up, but it's never been like a thing, had one watch and that was pretty much it.
Mm.
I didn't really have that influence, I guess. For me, it was really, I have no idea, to be honest. I think it was pre-COVID, but I just decided one day I needed to have a nice watch and I'll go get one. And that sort of started. And then I started looking a rabbit hole. And then me and my best mate, we sort of just started. It was almost in parallel. We started looking at watches together. And then anyway, the rest is history.
Cool.
Look, what can I say about this watch? It's one of my favorites in my collection. It wears so well, like most Seiko divers do, compact lug to lug, just a fantastic, sunburst gray, very, very similar DNA to the 62 Mass. A great bracelet as well. I know it's for Seiko bracelets, definitely Seiko's bracelets. Sometimes it leaves a lot to be desired. I guess they're not that great.
Yeah, for sure.
But this is good. It's really well built, and and it's a strap monster as well. I've had it in
100%.
rubber straps
On that grey NATO that you put it on, oh man, it works so well.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely one of my sort of favorite combos, the Grey NATO. Shout out to the Grey NATO podcast. And look, it's just amazing. Like I'll look down at it, it just brings back. I wouldn't say brings back memories, but it's just like you say, it's a sentimental piece. It always have it. And in fact, what do you call it? Since I've had it, I've had 3 of my friends bought the exact same watch.
Yeah, cool. That's awesome.
143, and they've 2 of them. I think one of them sort of was always a watch collector. So the other one as well, liked watches and stuff. But yeah, another guy's not, he's never been sort of into watches, but he's like, yeah, I want a watch. I want a nice watch. Tell me which watch. And then I said, well, there's many things. It's like, I like your watch. I want your watch. I was like, all right, we'll organize it. And actually, funny story. I've just been to his wedding last weekend and had to wear it. My fellow SPB bro, I had to wear it. He had it on as well at the altar and sort of looked at me and said, hey, what's up? And he said, hey. So it was so it's got a lot going for it. And yes, look, hey, is the movement super accurate and perfect and stuff? No, 6-hour movement, it's definitely at the limit of its deviations, especially if it's winding down in the power reserve. But man, I rotate my watches so much, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. And going back to I've got my grandfather who was into watches, which is all cool, but also you're the great, you're that version in my story. Like, you're
Yeah.
creating that memory now for your friends and family
Yeah. Yeah.
further
Yeah.
on,
I
which
know
is
I'm
a very
older than
cool
you,
thing.
man, but come on, you don't have to call me a grown.
Not much, mate. I was going to say,
Yeah, not by much. Yeah.
if any of my family listening and want to buy me an SPB 143 for my 30th, it's 14 months away, so we're creeping up.
But yeah, no, it's fantastic. And yes, is it a keeper? Of course it
Yep,
is, and it will never leave my collection.
awesome. No, it's a great watch. Every time you post it, I'd be lying if I said I haven't looked at it myself. Someone in my family picked one up as well,
That's right.
or a variant, and yeah, I think I've tried yours on a handful of times now, and like you said, they're compact, lug to lug. That kind of a little bit more refined Seiko feeling as well. Really feels like a huge jump from some of the Seiko stuff that I'm used to.
Yeah,
Anyway, but yeah, it is a gorgeous watch, and like I said, that NATO that you put it on, anything you actually posted on, but that NATO especially just pairs so perfectly with it.
yeah,
And yeah, the sentimental value is always good to have with it.
for sure, for sure, for sure.
Sweet. All right, I might move on to my next pick. So my next pick is the Stratton Yacht Racer. So that's a recent-ish purchase. Well, I say recent, but looking at what date it is now, it is 6 months ago that was purchased now,
Yeah, wow.
which is crazy to think about because I remember speaking to you on the phone in the car about that purchase in my work car park from memory. And I remember it being freezing cold and raining that day because we caught up for lunch that day. And
Yes.
yeah, it does not feel that long ago. Jeez. Anyway, yeah, this watch was purchased as another micro that I've kind of dabbled into for some time, as in always added to cart, not added to cart. And it took me a bit to purchase anything on it, but I had a kind of a deal that you can't refuse on it, even for brand new. So it was time to take that leap, and I'm really glad I did take the leap because it is a fantastic everyday wearer, and it kind of embodies a lot of what I like in collecting as well. It's colorful, but at the same time, the white dial, black bezel, the NATOs that I choose to wear it on, this black with a white stripe, and the navy blue with the pink. It just pairs very, very well for what you wouldn't think goes so well with so many things. Like when you think black, white, purple, black, white, pink, blue, and not just like your navy blue or anything. It's like sky blue,
Yeah.
and then really like not hot pink, but we're getting towards it.
It's like a Miami Vice.
Yeah, you're right.
Reminds me
That's
of.
exactly what it is.
Yeah.
You would think, you're not gonna be able to wear that with too much. It's had plenty of wear on this, and I even chucked it on a solid navy NATO recently, which it paired well with as well. But I think this opened a bit of a door with Stratton and Signum. I'm definitely going to be having a Signum in the near future, I think, with the new dial being released. But this watch did its job, and I don't think it's a full-time keeper. I think it will make its way out of the collection, not anytime soon, but sure. I do think as my entry into chronograph, sort of like your Nevada story, this was my first chronograph off the top of my head that I'd kind of ever put any thought into, apart from my Casio Edifice and the Seiko I mentioned earlier.
Yep.
This was the first one I went, yep, I want the chronograph, I want it for this reason. Yeah, that's it. And it served its purpose. It's great. It wears well. Like I said, it's not going anytime soon, but I just think eventually it will exit the collection. And I think that's because I also purchased another watch from Stratton, another chronograph, and that watch just does what I want out of chronograph a little bit better. This gives me a lot of Seiko Turtle vibes in terms of the case and everything, but I think it just that racer chronograph feeling I got a lot more out of from the classic driver. So that's the reason this will probably exit the collection at one point. But who knows? It could take that one strap, which I am waiting to buy a new strap off Sydney Straps Co. Mm-hmm. It's just not been in stock for some time, but they have told me it is coming back, and I think that'll rekindle. Not that I don't think I've fallen out of love with this watch by any means. I just think it'll make it look a whole different watch again. But yeah, I think I've still got a few years with this one. Every time I put it on, it just gives me a charm that nothing else in my collection really gives.
Yeah.
That my Zilos pops in your face and goes, here I am. I'm very bright, very in your face. Same as the classic driver. And then the rest of my collection, Omega, Turtle, Tudor, it's all kind of like, hey, here's your traditional, wearers. This is a very fun middle ground to play with. And depending what NATO you wear it on, can look quite sensible or it can be quite fun.
Yeah, and I love a good white dial watch. And,
yes.
And that's one one thing it's got going for it, and the fun colors, right? I mean, you want something which is a bit fun. We do have our, we do both have, solid bright colors in our collection as well. We do have that, but having a bit of that sort of fun thing, a bit of quirkiness, it's great. And yeah, it's a great brand. I've handed it myself as well, and the value for money is incredible.
Unreal, yeah.
Most micros are, and yeah, great pick.
And look, with like our connection to Kyle. Kyle's someone who I keep in touch with on the regular. I've said this before, and I'll say it again in the future. He's very in touch with his community. He's very in touch with the watch community as a whole, especially at his micro brand level. And if this feels not just like I'm getting a value for money watch or getting something that looks cool on the wrist, it feels like I'm genuinely supporting I want to say pretty solid pillar in the micro collection, in the micro world, which feels good, especially after our chat about where money goes and success/failure rate of things when they break and whatnot. It does feel good to, as much as it feels good to get a bargain, it does feel good to support that brand and the endeavors coming in the future. Because if you had a look at Signum's Instagram page as of recent, the purchases that we make as collectors is what's funding that future development. And Signum has got some really cool stuff about to release in 2024.
Oh yeah. Those dials look incredible.
Awesome. Yeah.
Nice one.
But yeah, I think it's a keeper for the foreseeable future.
So funny. Both of our fun chronographs were on the maybe column. Interesting. Okay. All right. I'll move on to. So I've got two more left. So I will go with my next one, which is my Christopher Ward C63 Sealander GMT. So why did I get it? Well, I was looking for a GMT watch, pretty much. I was looking for a complication that was different to what I had already had. At that point, I didn't really have any complications apart from day date in my collection. I think I may have had the Timex still, so maybe I did have a chronograph, but other than that, it was just dive watch heavy, dress watches, vintage watches, and that was it really. And so I wanted something which was a bit different, and I had my eyes set on a Christopher Ward. I had read a lot about it, and I really wanted one, but at that point, Christopher Ward had changed over their logo from the word Christopher Ward to their logo, which is the sort of the twin flags logo. A lot of people love the new logo. I'm in the weird camp that I actually prefer their old logo.
Ah, interesting. I don't think we had this chat before.
Yeah, maybe not, but not in all their watches. So again, bit picky, but for this particular watch, this GMT, I prefer the text. And so at that point, they'd already moved over. So I thought, oh, man, where am I going to find one unless I get one in secondhand? So I started, emailing them, phone calling them, trying to get, an idea of, and, I've heard a lot about Christopher Ward's customer service. I've heard two sides of the coin. One saying is great, other saying, they struggle to get back from them. I think it's a symptom of their massive growth that
it's inevitable, isn't it?
Not quite, as good as they used to be. Again, not excusing them. I'm sure they can get better, but it was good. I actually managed to get someone on the phone, and I had a chat with them, which is nuts, like for a watch
phone
brand. Is hey, like, how you going? And say, look, I'm looking to purchase this, and I wanted to have, with the old dial, what can I do? But I said, yeah, you know what? We actually have some left, and yeah, we can organize something. And I had a lot of questions about duties and tax and all that, because obviously, living in Australia, we're going to have to pay all that stuff when it comes in.
Yeah.
So I wanted to, I want to know exactly what I'm going to actually be paying, to the end. So while all that was happening in the background, I was lucky and it popped up on sale in AAWF, and I was like, sweet. So I had a great deal from a fellow AAWF member. Shout out to him. He knows who he is. Fantastic bloke. And it was practically mint as it came to me. It was awesome. Mint. It was mint. I didn't see a single, but nothing on it. It's just like and it still had the full warranty, or pretty much almost all of it. And I had, full set, you name it. And Yep, I love it. I think it's probably my second most worn this year, or
Okay.
third most worn, and I rotate a lot, so it's
Yeah.
up there. I wore it pretty much every single time when I went away for work. Again, it's exactly why I got it. It's a GMT watch. I can use it in a way.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. The bracelet is like awesome. Quick release bracelets, so I can change out bracelet straps, so easily. Quick and on the fly adjust as well, and yeah, just everything, every little thing that you would love, every little convenience included in
Mm.
a watch, and a bit of strap monster too. So I mean, I don't know if you can
Oh,
see that. It's
100%. Yeah.
I've got it in an M&N strap at the moment,
Oh,
like a
beauty.
Marine National type strap.
Do you have any orange straps for it?
I do. Yep, I do. I have
As I say,
orange
because
straps
yeah,
for it
that's
too.
orange of that hand is yeah. I'm a fan of oranges in general.
Yeah.
Like I love my Seiko Samurai, but I think yeah, orange straps that with the black dial. Oh, beauty. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that's on another watch, which I won't talk about today. But
Yeah.
yeah, orange, yeah, works really well. I've got like a rubber strap as well, like a black on the top and orange down the bottom. So yeah, look, I wear it so much. I think it wears fantastic on me. The 39
Yeah.
mil proportions, great. Now, is it a keeper? I'm gonna say maybe. And
Okay. Okay.
and the only reason I say this, I'm not looking to move along anytime soon. I
Yep.
really don't. I don't think I will have a clear upgrade. If I was to go
Mm.
GMT to
Yeah.
GMT, we're talking like, multiples
Yeah.
of
What's
that,
next? Yeah. Yeah.
like what, two-door GMT or something, or the Longines, maybe.
Mm.
But again, I mean, I've handled Longines. I've is the quality that much better? I don't know. I'm not really sure. Not really sure if it's diminishing returns. So we'll see. I have no, like you said, I don't really have the intention to move along anytime soon. But
Mm.
if the right watch comes along, and depending on circumstances where I'm in my life, blah blah, who knows? I might move it on.
It's a weird thing because think about GMTs. Like I've owned the Seiko 5 GMT and that's it. I've
Mm,
never owned another GMT. And that wasn't bought for the reason of a GMT, but more bought for the hype and trying to try one on. And
sure.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the bezel. The bezel plan, the one that I had, the black and grey, was beautiful. But yeah, no way it was ever a keeper in the collection. Is a Seiko 5 ever a keeper in the collection long term? Sure, for
Who
someone it
knows?
would be. But I've never gelled with one properly. I love wearing them for like 3 or 4 months and then I just move them on.
Sure.
But when I think GMT, like if you think Tudor Black Bay Pro, like you mentioned Tudor there, you're not really getting a lot of looks difference, are you?
Mm, no.
It's pretty similar, and for the price between the two, especially picking your Christopher Wood up second hand,
Yeah.
that's a huge gap. And even yes, there's Longines. I think a lot of Longines GMTs have that stainless steel bezel
Yeah.
as well. It's all pretty similar aesthetics. It doesn't really leave that vein unless you go Tudor GMT, the Black Bay GMT, when you get like the opaline dial or the root beer bezel set
Yeah.
up. That's
But
kind of
that
where you
doesn't.
venture out. But
Yeah. But that doesn't really, speak to me. So to
exactly,
say.
that's what I mean. Like, if you look for that stainless steel bezel, it's all in the same vein, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And that's why it's also like, is it really, do I really need that?
Mm,
I mean, there's also talk about, caller GMTs and flyer GMTs and stuff like that.
yeah.
And is it really, to be honest, I mean, this is a Salida S330-2, I think. And it is a beautiful movement. It's so smooth. It's just like,
Yeah.
honestly, it's like butter. The way it winds, you can hardly hear it, and
Mm,
fantastic. I mean, I've got a couple of watches of Salida, the 200 series, which some one or two really good, elaborate grade. It's been done well, and one not so great. But again, this 330 one's fantastic. But
yeah,
anyway,
cool.
come back to the point. It's like the whole true GMT, or fly GMT, call GMT, it doesn't bother me.
If it
Honestly,
does the job, it does the job.
does the job. And
You're
and it
not any more pure or
no, yeah.
better than anyone.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I guess maybe for purposes of people who are flying between time zones all the time, it's easier to, like locally adjust the hour hand quickly enough and fine. But for me, I travel occasionally for work and it works.
Yep.
Yeah, I've got a long time on the flight to set it, mate. And I can set it in my Uber or taxi to the airport, honestly, and that's done. And most times I have it set anyway because I still make phone calls to a different time zone for work
Mm.
and everything. And it's always set. So it's done. I don't really need to
Also,
do anything else. Yeah.
I don't doubt that there's many people using their GMTs for their intended purpose, right? I don't doubt there's a lot of people using, there's a lot of people that aren't as well. But like the whole argument between true GMT, not true GMT, bro, just look at your phone. We know that you look at your phone. Like even if I had a GMT that was going to tell me a second time zone that I was going to call like my auntie in the UK,
Yeah.
I'd still Google what the time is right now in London.
Yes.
Like, there's
Yep.
no way I'm going, going to wear a GMT to do that. It's a cool thing to be able to do. Don't get me wrong. Like, if you're doing it, that's sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, my phone's there. I'm all good.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. And yeah, in this day and age, I think, my phone, even without it knows immediately, I look at the unlock screen and it's got home time, local time.
Yeah.
Cool, fantastic. I know it, but yeah, it's just anyway. This whole hobby is, if we really look at it, it's like, well, it's a bit antiquated or whatever we call it.
100%. But
So,
before we move on to Christopher Ward, a couple of points. I agree with you, especially on the dial that you've got on the
yeah,
logo. I
yeah,
do like the wording. I'm also a huge fan of the new logo too.
yes,
On most variants, I think the issues I ran into with the logo on Christopher Ward back then was when it was at 9 o'clock.
yes, I
That's
agree.
where I
It
really
was a bit
struggle because
funny.
Christopher's a big word to put on like a dial that might be,
Yeah,
25 mil
yeah,
across. You're talking case size is your 40, but your dial might only be 25, 30 mil. It's a huge word. And then I think from memory, I haven't got anything up on my screen, but they had Christopher Ward, Christopher up top, Ward on the bottom, and it would line up as in like to the margin on the left. So it looked really funny.
yeah,
It was like it wasn't centered. Like I think it would even work better at the 9 if Ward was centered under Christopher,
yeah.
but it just didn't do anything for me. But
I think some of the
secondly,
Tridents had that, didn't they?
I think so. Yeah, there was one for sale in Perth recently that had one on there.
Is it a red one?
No, it was a
No.
black dial, I think.
Okay.
So it was someone who had 40 odd watches for sale. Like when I messaged about something else, he sent me a list and said, "Here they are. Here's the photos." I was like, "Oh gosh." Anyway, secondly, I'm super jealous of your ability to remember reference numbers of movements and stuff. Like you just whip all Seiko reference numbers off the top of your head. I'm literally struggling to remember what I had for lunch today. Like I just don't have that hard drive space in my memory.
It's the brain fog. It's the brain fog.
No, it's not though. I can't say that. Like I don't know a single reference number of any of my watches upstairs at all.
Yeah, but
not a single one.
That's the beauty of it, man. And I think we spoke about this before as well. You don't have to.
You don't have to. Yeah,
You enjoy it, and I think you said it in an episode past as well. If you took out my movement in my two-door and slapped on an NH35 or a quartz, movement, I wouldn't care. It would be the same watch to me. And again, controversial, but it makes sense, right? For you,
it does the same thing, man.
Yep, that's it. Yeah, again, but if I was to move on, just putting it out there, if I was to move on the C63 and decided I wanted an upgrade for another micro brand, it would be the Oak and Oscar Humboldt GMT.
I can get behind that. Yeah.
Yeah. So Oak and Oscar is a brand that like literally when I first started collecting, I was like, I'm looking at micro brands. I'm like, I want Oak and Oscar. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. Something really appealed to me about it. And it was the owner, his story. He just seemed like a nice guy. Again, micro brand, really well made, high quality build. I obviously I haven't had any real experience with any of this stuff. It's just from what we hear and what we see, but just real cool, real simple, but really well done.
I think Oak and Oscar really embodies the micro brand, especially in the upper echelon of price. Really embodies it. Like they're not doing they're not homaging a lot. I want to say, like, I haven't really been on any of their websites or checked a hashtag on Instagram for some time for Oak and Oscar, but from memory, they're very much here's our style, here's what we're sticking to. It's a very classic design. I think it's very minimalist. It's very I don't know. It's not boring, but it's plain, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Like shout out to Watch Symmetry. He has one, and he
Oh, does
does
he?
some
Okay.
awesome
Right.
macro shots. I think he's got a couple actually, but yeah, it's I think it just embodies the micro brand space. It's not homaging anything at the same time. It is homaging a lot, but it
Yeah.
doesn't scream it to you.
Oh, there you go. And fun fact, I heard this on a podcast before. So his brand name, Oak and Oscar. So Oak because he likes whiskey, and I think
I think I've heard this too.
Oscar is his dog's name.
Yeah, I
It's like,
think I've heard this somewhere, maybe on 10 and 2 years ago,
yeah, good.
possibly.
Yes, that's right. It was in a podcast. I don't know which one. So yeah,
Yeah, cool.
awesome story. And I think when I was looking at it before, the price was a little bit less than now, but maybe one day, maybe one day.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, I might give my last watch for the episode.
Go for it.
And while we're talking about Tudor, I might end on my Tudor. So I have the Tudor Black Bay Heritage 41. So I purchased this coming up to 2 years ago. And why I purchased the watch, but because I went in to purchase a sub as a promotional. Okay, I got a promotion at work. It was my first. I've had small kind of promotions over time, but this is my first huge jump in not only pay, but also responsibility and work. And for a bit of background context, I've had one career, 28, and I started with the company I'm with when I was 17. So I went and did my party week at Schoolies, and I literally drove from Schoolies on the Monday. I left the town called Dunsborough at 3 a.m. to rock up to my first day at TAFE on the Monday in my boots and my new work uniform. And yeah, when I was 17. So I've been there 11 years, did an apprenticeship, and being the first big jump in kind of price and whatnot, in pay and responsibility and work, it felt like the right thing to do. And I guess it's a normal thing, right? A lot of people buy a watch as a promotional memento or gift to yourself, and that's what I wanted. So yeah, the background is I wanted a sub. I wanted a plain back, no date, ceramic sub. And I was on Instagram at the time, very much in Instagram, but I had not looked into Rolex or anything of such, mainly because of the price. Like I own an apartment, own a house, and that was where my focus was. I had kids, my firstborn at the time as well. I think my daughter was just born as well, maybe. Yeah, definitely, actually. Scrap that. But I had responsibilities, and it just never really came up before this. And I thought, well, this is a good enough reason to go and make that first big purchase. Like I'd purchased Oris before, so I've had a couple of tags, but this felt like the right one. And like I said earlier in the episode, went in for the sub, got made to try on. I tried on some Breitlings, tried on a few other Tudors, tried on some Panerai. I tried on can't remember what it was. It's completely lost me. A compressor diver. I'll remember it, and later on, it was in Watches Switzerland, a JLC.
JLC, okay.
It was a compressor diver, but that was probably the only thing that really had my interest apart from the Tudor. It wasn't on the radar. But anyway, I landed on the Tudor, and the best part about it was the salesperson. Shout out to Chol. He's been great to me in Watches of Switzerland over time, and he said, "Well, this here is your next best thing from the sub." And he said, "Here's the price, huge price down. Here's what Tudor's about. I'd never really ventured into Tudor before." And he said, "Well, we can hold it for you for a week. If you want to put a deposit on it." I said, "Yep, I'm very interested." I went and did my YouTube and whatnot. And throughout that process, I fell in love with the watch, and it really fit into my collection well, for the same reasons I spoke about earlier. It's very classic.
Yep.
Every time I wear it, I fall in love with it a little bit more. I think it's just me. I say it all the time that when you mention your watches, or we talk about watches on the pod, I say it's a you watch. This watch really, in my opinion, embodies what I like in collecting.
Yeah,
it's not a micro brand, but it's just got the history that I like, that I really enjoy. It's got the sentimental value for myself. It's going to mean something to my son one day, or my grandkids one day. Yeah. It is for my boy when he gets older, and that's the plan. And it's black with gilt, and I don't do a lot of gilt, but it works so well with the red. I've said it before on the pod. I say it on my Instagrams all the time because I don't wear this watch a lot because I love my micros and I love my color. Yeah. But every time I put this watch on, everything ticks the right boxes. It's a noisy watch too. It's very loud. Like you go to scratch your ear and you hear tick 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 tick. I love it. It's perfect. It's never leaving the collection until my boy owns it one day. just everything about it for me is spot on. And I've worn on NATO straps, and it gives you that more classic vintagey feel, that heritage feel it goes for. I've worn it on pink NATOs. I've worn it on burgundy NATOs, red NATOs with a white stripe. I've worn it on a huge range of NATO. And then I've also worn it on fitted rubber straps from Crafted Blue, and it gives it another whole real tooly diver aesthetic to it. And I really enjoy it. I mean, I just think it's going to be one of those watches that always fits in.
Yeah, for sure. Look, it's a classic, right? I mean, these dive watches are just there's Tudor Black Bays. Yeah, it's it is, it's, you know, so much history in it, and you know, I've seen this in the flesh, and you're right, it is a U watch. It honestly is, just like, I guess, the SPB 143 is a me watch. This is like a U watch, and it just works. And I would love to see it on a Jubilee one day, though. That's my
that was where I was going to finish here. I was like, if I could get Tudor to bloody sell me that 5 link, I would be, you know, the Forstner's coming. There's no doubt about the Forstner coming. But if I could just get the Tudor one, because I don't know what it is, you know, Forstner have a cool clasp as well, but just having like the Tudor clasp with the shield on it, it would just make it like, I don't know, it's just my OCD kicking me in the back of the brain, but it would just really tick it off for me if I could have that, Tudor bracelet.
Does Uncle Seiko do the Jubilee for the Black Bay? Because I know they do for the Black Bay 58. I'm not sure whether they do it for the Black Bay. Is it? I don't know what yours is called. It's just called Black Bay 40. Is
it's
it 41?
The 41, yeah.
So that's it. So they do actually.
I think the Forstner's definitely where I'd go. It's got amazing reviews, especially from Black Bay owners. They rave about it.
Sure.
But maybe I need to start sending Tudor an email every week and start a campaign, because I want it bad.
yeah, maybe you should. Awesome, fantastic way to round it out.
Do I sell the Tudor and buy the new one?
Nah, wow.
There's no way. Nah.
I mean, I'm sure eventually you can sell it. You should be able to actually put your current clasp on the
I have thought about that. I just haven't put any effort into looking into it at all.
Yeah, I'm just looking at an Uncle Seiko, you know, Uncle straps.
Yep,
and they do the bracelet without a clasp. So then all you do is you put on the Tudor clasp on it.
Yep,
and looks pretty.
Maybe
good.
That is the go. Maybe it is.
Looks pretty good. Anyway, yeah. You got options. You have options.
I do, yeah. No, I do. It's a strap monster of a watch, and yeah, it's just everything I like about watches.
Yeah,
like I said, it goes with everything. The bracelet's beautiful. The clasp is great. It's got no prints on the case back. Everything's just so perfect. I love it. I'm in love with the watch. I will always. My kids love it. The bezel action's great.
Yeah,
it just ticks the boxes.
Yep, nice. Beautiful. And simple as well. You really think about it, it's not you know, overly complicated, but it does it all well.
That's the best part. It's got no date. It's so symmetrical. The gilt works, the black works. There's no date. There's no white date wheel, you know, stuffing up the dial for me.
yeah
Everything's good.
Nice.
Sweet.
Nice one.
All right, what do you want to round off on?
All right, mate. Well, I'll round off on actually not my latest acquisition. Oh, this is terrible. It's my second latest acquisition. I sort of talked about it on the thing. So this is my Halios Seaforth version 4 in the No Fuss Black.
We need a round of applause button. We need like a hotkey.
It's there you go. You can see it. So I've actually got it on a Jubilee, which is the. Yeah. So look, Halios is a micro brand based out of Vancouver, Canada. They're one of the OG micro brands. They've been around for years. And look, there's a lot of criticism on their business model or perceived business model on how they sell, and, you know, having lotteries and stuff like that, signing up, and, you know, there's a lot to say about that. But Jason, the brand owner, you know, I've listened to some of his interviews and stuff he's given, and sort of his philosophy and how he gets around why he does it the way he does. And I guess it makes sense. You know, he's one guy. He's meticulous about what he wants to release in the market. He he knows what he wants, and he takes his time, and he's one guy, and he has to do everything, the QC stuff. He goes, runs around, does his some versions. I think it gets assembled in Canada as well in some
Mm.
places, and the watchmaker that's down his road or whatever it is, I think is rolled off. So there's some of the versions are, some versions aren't, and he's quite open about the process as well. And he says, I have case makers in Asia and this and that, and that's just the reality. We know that, that most watch
Yeah,
brands.
everyone does know this as well. That's the
Exactly.
thing. Everyone knows the background of these brands, and
Yeah.
you can complain all you want about the business model he's using, but he is
Yeah.
successful. It
Exactly.
works. It's working for him. If you've got such a problem with the way
Yeah.
brand owners choose to do their thing,
Yep.
go start your own brand and make the model that you think is going to be widely successful and work and cater to everyone, and
Uh,
see the realities of
yeah.
what it is.
Yeah. I mean, Carl spoke to this as well, and
Yeah.
sort of the design by committee and stuff sometimes isn't that great. And yeah, but look, look, it is literally a no nonsense tool diver, and it's really fantastically finished, incredibly accurate. So
Mm.
I haven't really been keeping time or checking accuracy of watches. I've never really been interested in that. Did it for a little bit when I first started collecting, but recently I've been speaking to someone from AWO, you know who you are, and he mentioned, hey, I've started recording the accuracy of all my watches, and I was like, oh, you know what? I'm curious. I might do the same. I'll just try.
Okay.
And I tried a bunch of watches over time in different positions and stuff like that. This is better than Kosk. This is
Yeah,
running at,
you see the comments in Facebook, don't you?
yeah,
You kind of expect it to. Like,
yeah,
I've never handled Helios, had anything to do with it. I don't
yeah,
even really know much about them, to be honest, because it's
yeah,
never been in my wheelhouse. But you never hear anything bad about
yeah,
the brand, the QC, the watch itself. I think if I read anything about Helios, it is the quality is unreal. The timekeeping is,
yeah.
you can't beat it for its level. Yeah, it is the kind of grail of the micro world,
I think
in
so.
my
Yeah,
opinion, and in a lot of opinion, I think, for a reason too.
yeah,
It's made its place up on the podium. It's
yeah.
holding it there, and yeah, that watch is an incredible reason for that, an example of that. Sorry.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure. And look, and this is probably their simplest model. They do have other models as well. It's just the black. It's so
mhm.
black. I don't know how to say it. It's like a lacquer dial. It looks like, there's been layers and layers of lacquer. It just looks like it disappears. And
Mm.
the bezel action is just crispy. I mean, I don't even know how to explain it, but it's just one of the best bezel actions that
Yeah.
I've ever had. It's it's just tight. It just works. And
Yeah.
again, it's got a compact lug to lug as well. So even though it's 41 mil, it fits me really well. And it's a strap monster. It came with this really soft FKM rubber, which I had on my Astor Banks before actually,
Yeah.
and then I've chucked it on Jubilee at the moment as well, which is, I've never had a Jubilee strap before, but I bought this Uncle Seiko Jubilee that fits it really well. It's actually the
It,
Jubilee for the Alpinist.
it looks good on there too. It really
Yeah,
suits the watch.
yeah, thanks. And it's just it works really well. And yeah, I mean, they've got like I guess a bit of a cult following, the Helios. And I don't know, I mean, and why did I get it? Luck, opportunity. I literally had my name in the lottery for a long time,
Mm.
and one day I got an email saying, hey, you've been successful in the lottery, you can buy the watch. And I was like, wow, what?
And that's just the way it works, right? Like,
Yeah,
we've had chats about Helios. Like, I know what this watch means to yourself. Like, you've been after one for some time, but it's just the way it works.
yep,
One person messaging Jason to be like, not
mm,
happy with the way it works isn't going to stop him from selling watches, or
yeah,
make a new wave in his ocean type thing.
yeah.
But
Eh,
just
eh,
going back to
mm,
it, like, congrats on it first, because I know you've been waiting some time for it. It is, stunning. I can't wait to catch up for a coffee and
for
have a
sure.
look at it. I expect you to wear it that day too.
Yeah, definitely. I'll bring it along.
But yeah, I can't wait to get hands on with it, because like I said, I've not really ever, it's not that it's never interested me, it's just I don't know why it's never been on my radar. yeah, just never looked into it. I don't
Yeah,
think I've ever visited their website until you said you got one, and I actually
yeah,
went on and had a look.
yeah. And shout out to again Warren and Round. They're the ones who really introduced them to me when I first sort of initially started watch collecting and listen to them. And they're sort of listening to them, listening to Jason, who was on the podcast, and go, oh, wow, okay, cool, I like this. And and there's I posted a photo of this watch in AWF, and you know a lot of it, as you do, and a lot of good comments and stuff, fair enough. But there was a couple comments about how they don't like the business model or blah blah, and and I thought to myself, and you know what, I get it. If you want a watch that badly and you just want to be able to go and buy it, and to be honest, I completely agree.
Yep.
Should he make more watches and make it more available? Fine. But again, if he can't sustainably make good quality watches, so we're not talking about just
Yep.
mass, then he shouldn't do it either. Like, he should
Yeah,
be
where do
able
you
to
want the
keep
corners cut to fit what you want? Like what
e-
do you want to see in the watch fade
exactly.
away or
Yeah,
be reduced on to
exactly.
fit your business model? What's
Exactly.
if what you think it should look like? It's the
Yeah.
argument that we talk about with Zelos all the time. People
Yeah.
making huge arguments, but Zelos sell a lot more watches than Helios do, and
Yes.
that's the thing. You're not going to please everyone, but you kind of. I think we said this. Maybe not. Maybe it was the last episode we spoke.
Mm.
Zelos had still got watches for sale from their previous drop. This must be the first drop they've ever had,
Mm.
sitting solid for 2 months now on their swordfish release. Their swordfish is the staple, maybe the hammerhead, but it's one of
Sure.
those really affordable dive watches with good specs, good colors, good dials, and they're still for sale today. It's
Yeah.
people begged and begged for that to be a thing for the past 3 years of me being in the Zelos Timekeepers group. People have begged to be able to purchase those watches at the drop of the hat, and people post nonstop about their gripes to do with the system being, they've got it in cart. They were there for 3 seconds, just like the other thousands of people
Yep.
trying to purchase that watch, and they didn't get it. It's like,
Uh,
this is the thing I've learned with this hobby is everyone's got a gripe about something no matter
yeah.
what's happening. Now there's people whinging about Zelos being too available, and I guarantee these people who whinge about the Helios not being obtainable,
Yeah.
if they're in the lottery system like you've been for some time, and
Yeah.
they finally get the email and they buy it, let's just say, is it Jason? Is that his name?
Jason. Yeah.
If he decides that I'm going to start mass producing,
Yeah.
the problem's then going to shift from my watch is not as rare and as meaningful
Yeah.
as it was back when it was unattainable, and it's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
crap. It makes me more angry than it should because it's just a watch. Just
No,
get over it.
and to be honest, like I found that other models be much worse. Like adding it to the cart and then selling out instantly and stuff. It's more painful because at the end of the day, it's like, hang on a minute, and they're
Your
not the
hopes
only
are there.
brand. Yeah, and Zelos is one. There's I remember there's, what was that, Spinnaker with that latest Ghosts.
I'm not over that yet. Let's not
Yeah,
bring that
sorry,
up.
sorry.
No, you're
But
good. You're good.
that was another debacle. There was another brand called, I think, L'Aventurine,
Yeah.
which
Yep.
they make beautiful watches, but same thing. Like, I think it was literally seconds. So people were like, something, it's got to be bots or something. There's no way humans made it sell out that quickly. And that's much, for me, I find that much worse because then you have that hope, you have that sort of, oh yeah, I can do it, I can go in and buy it, and then it just makes it even worse. Well, this one, it's like, and again, it's also not like, your traditional, you want the sub. Well, you're gonna have to buy a two-tone Wimbledon date, just whatever. You're gonna have to buy 3 of these and some jewelry, and then maybe you'll get the chance to spend 30 grand of your own money. It's like, oh, come on,
Yeah.
like what is that? That's
You're
way
not
worse.
forced into anything. It's all your decision. If you want the lottery
Exactly.
and circumstances change, you still don't have to
Yeah.
buy it when it's there.
Correct.
It's
It's pure luck. That's what it is. And yes, is it cool? No, but it's way more fair than having to, buy all this stuff to try and get on a list to buy a what, for to get the luxury of spending money on something. Like, I don't. Anyway, that's another.
No, it's cool that they're not obtainable at the level they are. It makes them, in my opinion, a lot cooler of a brand.
Sure.
And that was my attraction to Zelos back in the day. You go in and it's, you jump in the line, and like I've said on the pod, I've missed out on a lot of aventurine dials that I'm trying to get my hands on. There's hype. Everyone wants them.
Yep.
There's people out there who get every drop, and who knows? Is it my internet that's slow? Is it their internet that's fast? Is it my phone? Should I do it on my computer? Who knows? Who
Yep.
cares? I got the Nebula. I got
Yep.
the bronze mop. There is opportunities to get what you want there.
Yep.
I think it's just some people get really affected by
Mm.
FOMO, and I don't know. Like I think we've said it before. At the end of the day, there's always an option elsewhere to an extent.
Yep.
But I just don't think it's something you should be getting angry over. If you do want it that bad, I'm sure there's a price that someone's willing to part
Yeah,
way
and
with
that's
that
it.
thing. And if it works for the Rolex world, it works for Helios, it works for Zelos, it works
Yeah.
for most things in the world. It works for cars at the moment.
Yeah, correct. Yep. And you can buy Helios in secondhand, and it does go for a bit of a premium. But if it all depends on what
You want it
you
now,
look
you pay the premium.
exactly what you're looking for. But yeah, look, I just coming back on this watch, I absolutely love it. Is it a keeper? I'm going to say yes.
I think so as well. Yeah.
For a watch that has just come into my collection, I can't get enough of it. I've had to pry it off my wrist to put something else on. To be honest, I've really been enjoying it. So
I think that's a good reason too.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, awesome.
Sweet.
Well, we've done it. We've come to the end of our curated SOTC episode and basically our 2023 season wrap up. That's it. And
it's been a pretty wild year. It's been fun.
Yeah. And look, we can do a something interesting section, but I think maybe we'll use this time to maybe reflect a little bit on, it's only been 6 months since we started, Justin. Yeah.
It's gone quick.
Yep.
We've had some pretty good names as well. I think I'm pretty proud of the first year I'm here. I'm pretty excited for the second. Keen to get a full year under the belt, start to finish, and really kind of now we've worked out our audio issues from the beginning. I think we're a lot more fluent. We have our dynamic. I'm very excited to see what the new year holds. Next year is going to be interesting for myself. My New Year's resolution is to not purchase a watch next year. I'm going to enjoy my now 8-watch collection. Now I've found the Seiko in the box, but I'm really going to kind of exist in the collection and rotate through, wear some straps, and maybe at the end of the year it'll be time to decide what goes, what stays, and start afresh. But I think I'm working towards a 3 to 4 watch collection. I think that's the goal in the years, but that's where the new year comes, and I'm excited for how that ties into what we're doing here.
Fantastic. Yep. I'm not committing to that goal. I'm just saying I have way more than that, and enjoy the variety.
Absolutely fair.
But like just to back of what you just said is super proud of this, what we've created here, and really looking forward to building upon this. And there's going to be definitely some improvements as well coming along the way. We've learned a lot, and there's plenty more to learn. And hopefully some pretty cool guests as well along the way next year, we're hoping. And that's all I'm going to say. And thanks to all our listeners, to the
huge thanks.
I think it was nearly, was it 30 countries, 33 countries? There's a lot.
If you had asked me 6 months ago, would there be that much in there? There's not a chance. I would have said we had the reach that we have, and massive thanks to everyone who's shared or posted or reached out for a chat or recommended, because it's really helped us grow this year. And really excited for next year.
For sure. It was actually 21 countries, and of course our home country, Australia, was the top, and we really appreciate that. And there's some stats. I guess we'll wrap up with some of the Spotify for podcasters stats. Everyone's got their Spotify Wrapped. Well, here's a Spotify Wrapped for We've Done the Podcast. So we were the top 10 podcast for 95 people in the world, and awesome. We were the top 5 podcasts for 79 people in the world, and we were the number 1 podcast for 36 people in the world. And that's just in Spotify. We're in Apple and a few other bits. So that's incredible to think that for someone that's they're a top podcast.
It's unreal. Like I'm sitting here in my little front room surrounded by fishing rods, sports equipment, scooters, bikes. I've got no aircon, and there's 36 people who have us as number one. It's a weird thought process, but it's also equally as cool.
That's it. No, and onwards and upwards. And as we always say, we always love to wrap up in this. Hit us up. On Instagram. You know who we are. Kind of Average Watches and Horology Capture. And obviously podcast Instagram as well. Overtime the podcast. DM us. Would love a chat. We're always open to that, and helps us to not only, I guess, learn more and hopefully give back some knowledge as well to people. And
yeah, sweet. I just wanted to quickly go. I'm so keen for our burger catch up with the boys here in Perth. I'm so excited. Yeah, I also wanted to give Jay a shout out too for Dang Horology. I'm gonna duck in for the coffee that you've offered me pretty soon. I've got 8 weeks off. You work down the road. I'm super excited to hang out. And Merry Christmas. I hope everyone has a safe and happy New Year's and holiday period.
Yep.
And all the best for the new year.
For sure. Yeah. And yes, Dang Horology for sure. He's like one of our biggest fans.
He's such a bro. I love him.
Yeah.
He's so good.
So caught up. I did see him. Fortunately, he couldn't make it. I caught up with a couple of the Red Bar guys locally, and he was there. And it was fantastic. And looking forward to our small, I guess overtime catch up, something like that. Yeah.
The first of many. We're going to do it more.
First of many. So let's keep doing that. And well, look, I think that's a wrap.
Yeah, man. I'll see you very soon as well. And I hope you have a really good Christmas with the fam. Get some time to unwind and relax.
Thanks, man.
And have a safe and happy New Year's.
Yep. Thank you. And you too. And to all our listeners, hope you guys have a great break, great holidays if you can, and buy more watches. Or maybe you'll get a watch for Christmas. Who knows?
Well,
all right.
We'll wrap it there and take care, hey?
All right. If there's nothing else, see you next year.
See you next year, mate.
Cheers.
Thank you for joining us on Overtime the podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode.
You can find us on our Instagrams at Overtime the podcast, at Kinda Average Watches, and at Horology Capture.
We appreciate your support and value your feedback. If you have any questions, suggestions, or topics you'd like us to cover in future episodes, please hit us up. We would love to hear from you.
Until next time.